Good afternoon, and we're going to get started because we figure it's going to be a long day here. And we'll start out with Chaplain O'Hara having the blessing.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. Let's join together in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for your goodness to our community in the midst of cold weather and difficult storms. We thank you that we are warm and well cared for. We thank you for FLRA and those who serve us in this organization, and ask your blessing upon us during this meeting today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. All right, if we'll all rise now and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we're going to start off today with Emily, and she's going to make an introduction here.
Dan. All right, so I'm Emily Messner. I'm the Director of Residential Life, and I'm really excited to welcome Dan App. He's our new Life Enrichment Manager, so some of you might have met him already if you're working on some of the committees or just seen him around. Excited to have Dan on the team. He comes as an experienced Life Enrichment Director. Great ideas, lots of energy, fun to work with, kind, all those things. So I hope you'll spend some time getting to know him. He is recovering from laryngitis, so he said, I'm not going to give a big talk today, but great to talk with. Stop by his office. He's where Kathy's office previously was, so I just want to welcome him to the team. He's been a pleasure to work with over the last couple weeks.
All right, now just as a reminder, on both tables, there's a thank you for over the snow thing for the staff and so forth for removal of the snow and the help that they've provided. So if you'll sign before you leave today, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. No, just sign one. Oh, sign all four? Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. I only signed one. Okay. So it's 40 employees that spent the night. They want you to sign all four, 2 on this side and 2 on that side. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now, to start our program, we're going to have Lori Daly speak to you. And Lori, you can come up and get a microphone here.
Hello, everyone. Am I holding it close enough? I got yelled at that from before. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Lori Daly. I'm the independent nurse here in the Wellness Suite. I feel, looking out, that I may have met most of you. For those of you that I haven't, I've been at Frederick for almost 7 years now. I spent the first 6 years up in Magnolia in personal care, and I took over for Jamie when she left in May, and I am loving my new position and love being here and meeting you all and serving you all in whatever way that I can. Rather than go on a lecture about what I do here, I thought that maybe I would just open the floor up for questions. If there's something specifically that you feel like you haven't been informed about that we do, that you're wondering, or anything like that? No? Everyone pretty much knows? Back here? Okay. Yes. Oh, the mic, I'm sorry.
I'm not quite sure whether I should address this now or for the third floor, which I represent, of the apartments. But they were concerned of having a lack of nurses available sometimes when things have happened. And they were wondering, and they wanted me to bring this up to you, and this is why I'm not quite sure. Whoops, can you hear me? Okay. What would it cost to add to Tuesday and Thursday to the nursing staff a nurse practitioner for independent living only? This was brought up because several times when people needed help, there was no one available because they had used their hours worth and had gone home or weren't there. Okay.
So that's a concern that comes up over and over again. I believe that the powers that are higher than me are definitely discussing that. Right now, I am allotted 20 hours a week. You know, should it ever arise that it becomes available to be here full time, I would be happy to take it if they would want me, but that's really something that kind of goes above me in budget talks. Yeah, it's something that can be brought up and has been brought up. Anyone else? Yes.
Way back when, we've been here about 6 years. We've been here, Gary and I, and Betty Rader, this is my husband Gary. We've been here about 6 or 7 years. And when we first came here, they gave us little pill cases. They were called vials of life, I believe. And they were supposed to have been updated on a yearly basis, 6 months, I don't know. Ours has never been updated. And I wondered what the status of that program is.
Okay. So I did put up a slide after I kind of took over things, asking people, like, have you checked your vial of life? Does it need to be updated? All you need to do is call me. And I really probably should start putting things out in the mail. Do you feel like you see it more if I put things in your mailbox?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So moving forward, I'll try to put sort of a flyer out to everyone. But if you need a new vial of life, we do ask the residents to keep up with it. All you have to do is call me, and I'll bring it to you. Like if you know your medications are being updated and things of that nature. Anyone else? Is everybody aware of the fact that you can have labs drawn in your home? Everyone knows that, and x-rays done, you're not feeling well. I'm not feeling well, I've had a cough for weeks. Can you please come over and assess my lungs? Which I can do. If you have an inside doctor, it's very easy for me to get an order. If you have an outside doctor, we can call together to get them to simply just fax me an order for a chest x-ray, and I can put it in and have them come to your home. These are just recent things I'm bringing up because people were unaware that that was possible.
Not misunderstanding, you're saying they will take an x-ray in your home?
Correct. Correct. I need the script from your doctor, especially if you have an outside doctor. I need it faxed to me, but yes. Anything else? Any other questions? I'm here to help. Oh, yes.
No, but that would be good to put those new things out for us. Actually, I don't even have a vial of life, and I've been here since February.
Oh, jeez. I missed you in the transition, but I'll get one to you.
But all these new updates, put them on a paper and get them out to
Yeah.
us.
That's actually not a new thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually not a new thing, but I'm finding more and more that it's not something that people are aware of. So I'm just starting to try to kind of pick up the pieces where I see that there's like a lapse in communication to make sure that you know. And of course, the more I know, the more I can help you. If you don't want me to know, that is perfectly fine. But it's easier for me to help you do things with more ease if I'm aware. Okay? Yes.
You know that paper that you and I worked on together,
Mhm.
Tammy? For newcomers, I did go to Lori, and Tammy was off in another room helping too. And we did do a paper that was given to the newcomers. And Carol, this was after you came in. But I am here thinking, and I don't have the power or authority to say that, but maybe a copy of that paper should be made and put in every mailbox. Do you think? It has the Vial of Life on it. It has all of the things that you can get and all the different doctor services on one piece of paper. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that couldn't hurt, so it would probably be
Okay,
a good
so
idea.
now, Emily, who do I have to get permission from then to, do you want me to bring you the paper? Oh, that's right, we gave it to you. Okay.
We'll handle it.
Okay, thanks.
Just wrote it on the paper.
You know, listening to all these questions and whatnot, I'm an old timer. I've been here for well over 10 years. When we joined the community, we got a residence handbook. We got a residence handbook, and it was about that thick, and it covered all this stuff. And a couple times a year, we would get new pages and instructions to insert and delete. Boy, that worked good. I wonder why it died.
Is there still a resident handbook?
Yes.
It didn't die, it's online. You can go on the Frederick app and your handbook is right there. If I had one, I would. It's on the Frederick app, your handbook with all the updates, I believe, and it's been there since they started with that app.
I'm gonna have to go on and read what's on there as far as the medical suite
You
goes.
know, apps are wonderful. You know, but I'm getting older, and the print's getting smaller, and I bought a bigger phone, but the print's still too small at times. And that handbook has a couple hundred pages. And the handbook works. I know it's a problem. I know it's a cost. But it is an important thing. You know, if you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and want to know, what do I do? You look.
I believe they will print out a copy if you ask, but the point is, if they print it out for everybody, that's a lot of paper and a lot of waste. Yeah, but and I don't remember receiving, I've been here 8 years, so I don't remember ever receiving an update.
I received one is the fact that I didn't read it all.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest.
Just a quick summary on that. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Yes, I update the handbook. A handbook goes out to all new residents. You got one when you move in, but I also do an update on a yearly basis. It's required. They're very usually minimal. We keep the resident handbook as standardized as possible, or you're always changing it. So we try to communicate some changes other ways. The latest version is available on the app. If you feel like, hey, I moved in 8 years ago and I'd like a fresh copy just to see some of those changes, happy to print it for you. I just don't print it for everyone because it is so comprehensive. So we do try to kind of notify of changes. We do update it yearly for new residents, particularly moving in. We want to give them the most up-to-date information, but there's not vast changes to it on a yearly basis. But would be happy to print it for you. But we do a yearly update.
And you announce the update just by putting it up on the app? I mean, I haven't seen a yearly update in the last 6 or 7 years.
I think we usually put a slide or something if you need a copy or something. We don't do an overly broad update, but if you need it, it's available.
The slides are nice, but I don't always look at the slides.
That's what I've been hearing.
How about if we keep an updated copy in the library, so in case you don't have it or you're having trouble reading the app, you can go to the library and
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea, but another great idea would be to update it monthly. No? Okay. I don't mean print, just to change pages. Okay? I bow. I yield.
I can I can offer to try to send out updates from a medical standpoint via flyer, if that would help people. For instance, now that you brought this up, our lab is only coming to do lab draws now on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And that was a change made by the lab because we don't have a high enough volume for them to come every day. And that's the whole community. So I could definitely, at least from a medical standpoint, when something is updated like that, send out something in the mail. Because as I said, I was told that the slides don't always get seen.
Any other questions?
Thank you for taking it easy on me. I was very nervous.
Thank you, Lori. All right, now it gives me pleasure because I've known the gentleman for a long time, but this is Kevin Owens here. He's from Goodwill Ambulance, and he's come to explain the situation with the ambulance and so forth. Feel free to ask him questions, etc.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kevin Yerger. I am from Goodwill Ambulance in Pottstown. I am the ambulance chief there, and I am the fire chief there. We respond to about 9,500 ambulance calls a year out of Pottstown and about 1,600 fire calls. Our area is the Pottstown area, the communities immediately surrounding that in the Potts Groves and the Coventrys and a little bit of New Hanover Township and a little bit of Douglas Burks. We do not typically come here. This area is covered by Plymouth Ambulance. They are based out of Plymouth. They have a substation that operates at Lower Frederick Fire Company, which is just down the road here on this side of Schwenksville. So when you call 911, the ambulance is coming typically from that station. It is the closest station, I believe, I think. If they are not available, there will be ambulances sent from other areas. I do believe next after that, you have an ambulance coming from Gilbertsville. After that, I believe it's Boyertown, and then you get into us. Our closest station to Frederick is the Ringing Hill Fire Company. We have one ambulance stationed there 24 hours a day. It's always staffed with a paramedic and an EMT, and they would be about the 4th or 5th due ambulance. So if all those other ambulances were tied up, you might see a Goodwill ambulance show up. So this is not my area, this is not our area. So I am not here to sell you anything, I'm not here to push anything, I'm not here to offer really anything, other than some maybe education, enlightenment, and maybe a little bit of advice, okay? And to try to answer your questions. When you call 911, one of those ambulances is going to respond, and they will likely take you to the hospital that you choose, within reason. Okay? Oh, that one, okay, we are awake. Within reason. So what we typically, what we do at Goodwill in Pottstown for our ambulances, we consider that about 20 miles. Okay? Anything further than that, I don't know. Is it an emergency? Do we really need that? Sometimes folks are sick enough that they absolutely need to get to the closest hospital right away. Can we all agree on that? Yes. Okay? Sometimes they are stable, maybe need some medical attention, but they don't need it right now, and they can tolerate a longer ride. Those are the ones that would be able to go a little bit further. and maybe some examples of that. The closest hospital from here is Pottstown Hospital. Okay. Next closest would be Lehigh Valley, Gilbertsville. And after that, kind of a bit of a distance to get to another hospital. Phoenixville's pretty far away. Reading's pretty far away. Grandview, yeah, that may be your next. That may be your third closest. So it is realistic that you might go to Grandview Hospital from here. You might actually make it to Einstein. It's just heading down 29, Germantown Pike, and you make it down to Einstein. Is it reasonable to ask to go to Hershey? Yeah, probably not. It's probably not reasonable to ask to go to some of the hospitals in Allentown unless you're going to Lehigh Valley, Cedar Crest, probably because you already have a doctor there. You're not hospital shopping or doctor shopping. You have medical conditions that warrant the trip to Lehigh Valley, Cedar Crest. Okay? We all know everybody likes Lehigh Valley, Cedar Crest. They can do everything there, and a lot of people like to go there. Heard some giggles on that one too. Okay. But those are the hospitals that you would get to choose from, and typically the ambulances try to abide by your request. Okay? Now at the end of the day, we all know that there's a bill that's associated with that at the end, and any service that's provided by the ambulance can be billed. Okay? So even if the ambulance comes out, and transports you to a hospital, that one's pretty easy. We will likely try to send a bill to your insurance company and cut you out of the middle. We would get some paperwork signed and send the bill right to likely Medicare or some sort of supplement. If the ambulance were to come out and just pick somebody up off the ground, say somebody fell, they slipped off the edge of their bed, they're just not strong enough to stand back up, that's a service that we would provide. If we were called to do that, we would certainly come out and pick you up. We're not going to let you lay on the floor. We're going to pick you up. But there can be a bill associated with that as well. The fees, I won't even get into the fees because I don't know what other squads are charging. Okay? It's just something that you would have to work out with them. If we were to come out and evaluate you, let's say somebody passed out for an unknown reason, and they decided, I really don't want to go to the hospital, I'm just going to stay here. Just because the ambulance is there does not mean that we have to take somebody to the hospital. We can leave you here. If you are alert and oriented, able to make your own decisions, you're not altered, confused, intoxicated, injured, you're allowed to sign off. You're allowed to refuse transport. There may be a bill for that as well because we do come out and provide a medical evaluation. This is a full medical evaluation, and then you change your mind and don't want to go to the hospital, and that's perfectly fine. When you see that bill come through, the biggest thing that I could stress is please read it. Please look at it closely. We do not typically send a bill to a patient unless we have verified that they don't have insurance. Okay, so if we know that someone has insurance, we're sending the bill directly to that insurance company, provided we have all the right info. If we have to send you something to get info, we will do that as well. Many, many, many cases, we need a signature from you as the patient or a family member authorizing us to do that, to get information and to send the bill to the insurance company. If we don't have that signature, we can't send it directly to the insurance company. If we don't know who the insurance carrier is, we certainly can't send it to them. So we will send out letters that look like invoices, but they're really not. So again, I hope your biggest takeaway is if you need the ambulance and you see a bill, please be sure to read it. You're not automatically getting an invoice. You're likely getting something that's requesting information. Either sign and return or sign and return and provide your insurance information. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Again, I can't speak to anything that goes on with Plymouth. That's not my squad. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to answer those questions. I can't do that. I can get you the information for people that can, and I understand that Tammy already works with you as the residents and the ambulance company to try and get those taken care of. If you receive a bill and you are confused about it, sorry, my recommendation would be to ask Tammy. Talk to Tammy and help her, or have her help you understand what's being requested. Do you have any questions? That makes sense. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any advantage to being a member of an ambulance, like we get once a year to join?
There is an advantage to being a member. And what happens if you're a member is the ambulance company that provides the service would accept whatever is paid by the insurance company. So we take you to the hospital. Goodwill's base rate is $1,800 for a ride to the hospital. It's then also $22 a mile for each mile that you're in the ambulance. It doesn't count us driving from Pottstown to here. It's only from here to the hospital. So if it's 8 miles, 8 times 22 is your mileage plus that base rate. Everybody knows what the job of the insurance company is? To not pay. That's exactly right. So they put in what's called a contractual allowance. And basically, they take about 60% of our bill and say, we're not paying for that. And at the same time, they're also saying, you, me, as the ambulance company, can't go after that. That's in law. So if we have a $1,900 bill, let's just say, because I'm not going to do that math, and that goes to Medicare, Medicare comes back and says, we're only paying $700 of that, and you are not allowed to bill the patient anything above and beyond. So they're saying, we're going to give you $700, that's it. Take it or leave it. So we have to take it. You may see, depending on your plan, you may see a deductible or a copay along with that. If, in our world, in Goodwill's world, if you have that copay and you bought your membership, we would write that off. So you would only be, you would actually, if you bought the membership, you would not be responsible for any ambulance bill. We still bill insurance. We still ask for your help to properly bill insurance. And honestly, hope for the best. Because that's really about all that we can do. We send a bill, they say, we're going to pay you this much. You can go after the patient for the copay if you want. That's up to you. If you're a member, we would write that off. If you're not a member, then we would ask for the copay or the deductible to go along with that. You got it?
I don't think I need a mic. All right. I just have this meek and mild voice. Question.
Yeah.
If we're a member of Plymouth and you come instead, is there reciprocity?
It's called a reciprocal agreement, and we actually just did this morning. We do honor each other's memberships. So we had a call in Pottstown Borough where all of our ambulances were tied up. 3 of our ambulances were tied up. Gilbertsville was tied up. Freedom Valley coming out of Limerick was tied up. Boyertown was tied up. That's 6 ambulances that are all tied up. Guess who the next closest was? The folks down in Plymouth coming out of Lower Frederick in Schwamesville. They drove from there to Pottstown, picked up our patient, took him to the hospital. They accepted our membership. The patient was a member, and they accepted that. So yes, we do work together.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you give any type of identification that they are a member to the people?
Honestly, now this is a Goodwill practice. We'll give them a card when we send the membership out. So they'll have a card that says, yeah, I'm a member for this year. But this is a Goodwill practice only. I can't speak for anybody else. We don't ask for that card. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see your insurance card. If you have it available, we'll take it. We do not ask for an insurance card. We take care of all the paperwork after you're at the hospital. Okay? So if we come out to pick you up, we're not asking for your medical cards or your membership card. Our first question is either, what's your name, what's going on today, how can I help you? Not, can I see your insurance card? That's our practice, okay? You don't feel the need to show us that card, because honestly, we look it all up in the database after the fact, after the bill's been generated, and probably a month and a half to 2 months after the incident ever happened. Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a question, maybe you could respond to it. I looked at my insurance before I came over. We have a Medicare Advantage plan. We have a copay. I looked under ambulance and that. And in our policy, it says, regardless of the number of trips per service day, then it also says includes fixed wing, rotary, or land. So I'm assuming that means Cessna plane, a helicopter, or an ambulance.
I would assume that as well.
Okay, now, we, unfortunately, if we have to use it, since we have a copay and we're also a member of one of the ambulances, in your, oh, by the way, it also says this is in the network and also out of network. I mean, that's what we have. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yep.
Can you comment on any of that beyond the copay, if we have a membership, the services per service day, regardless of the number of trips? I don't know how to interpret that.
So there are occasions where, let's just say, okay, that same person that we talked about earlier that wanted to refuse, somebody passes out. We come out at 7 in the morning, we take them to the hospital. They go to the hospital, they get evaluated, they can't find anything wrong, and they get discharged. They're back home by noon, 1 o'clock. Later that night, it happens again. And you all know when you go to the hospital, one of the last lines on your discharge instructions is if the symptoms occur again, or condition happens again, or conditions worsen, come back. So you decide, oh, I passed out a second time, I must have to go back. So I go back. Now I've used the ambulance twice in the same day. That means that that's covered, okay? With regard to the fixed wing and the rotary, so we know that there are airplane services and helicopter services that will transport people if they need that. There's a law. You can Google it. It's called the No Surprises Act. The No Surprises Act covers you if you're involved in let's say you're involved in a traffic accident and you have horrific injuries, and the best way to get you to a hospital is to fly you there. Your insurance is billed for that, but the No Surprises Act, and it was just signed in like 2023 or 4, says that the airplane company or the helicopter cannot come after you for any copay. They can't balance bill you. It's a pretty cool law if you need it. So a helicopter flight is somewhere in the area of $25,000 to $30,000, and I may even be on the low side. So that bill gets sent to your insurance company. The insurance company pays $5,000 of it. Guess what? That's all that helicopter service is getting. They just got $5,000. Take it or leave it. They are not allowed to balance bill you. It's called the No Surprises Act. What else? John, there's one in the back corner.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, with this insurance that you get through the ambulance fund,
Mm-hmm.
the only way that helps you is if you have a copay, right? Because I have insurance, but I have no copay.
That would be correct, if you have a copay.
Because I never,
In the Medicare world,
right.
that's the only way that this would apply. Someone who has independence, who maybe doesn't have ambulance coverage or has a high copay, it will help them more.
Because I never got involved with it. I'm thinking, am I missing something? But I don't think I
No,
am.
you're likely not.
Right, because I've never had a bill, and I've ridden in the ambulance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does Plymouth offer a membership? Okay. So, yeah, I don't want to speak out of turn about Plymouth's practices. I really don't. But Plymouth does offer a membership, so that may be something to look into with those folks. I'm thinking that you probably see a mailer come out about that. That's what we do. We send a mailer out, and ours is going to go out May 1st. And none of you should get it. If you get a membership mailer from Goodwill in May, throw it in the trash. We are not legally allowed to sell you a membership. So I'll go to jail. Maybe. What else? While we're waiting, I am not going to leave. Tammy's going to speak next and try and, I'm kind of doing the intro and she's going to tell you a little bit more. I'm not going to leave, so if anybody has questions afterwards, you can certainly catch up with me.
So
Yes,
if you can't send us a bill, can you guide us on to who we could? I think you went through the string of ambulances earlier, but could you repeat that?
As far as what?
As far as who could bill us?
So any ambulance that comes here and provides service would be able to bill for the services that they provide. That could be Plymouth coming out of Lower Frederick, Gilbertsville ambulance coming out of Gilbertsville, Boyertown in Boyertown. It could be Upper Perk coming out of Pennsburg. It could be Freedom Valley Rescue Squad coming out of the Limerick Fire Company, or it could be us coming from one of our 3 stations in Pottstown, Lower Pottsgrove, or North Coventry. So there's lots of help around. You're a little bit remote here, so it's going to take a couple minutes to get here, but there's help coming from all directions. Anything else?
One here. Kevin, we all see ambulances that say they're advanced cardiac care, this, that, thus, and so. Is there a difference in the billing for that super special ambulance?
Yes, there is. So the highest level that you can get is an ALS ambulance or an advanced life support ambulance. That will typically have an EMT and a paramedic on it. The paramedic is the one who starts the IVs, applies the heart monitor, administers medications, can put the breathing tube down your throat, and all of the higher acuity patients. So if you're really critical, the paramedic will be there, okay? So those are your chest pains, your trouble breathing, your strokes, your heart attacks, allergic reactions, unconscious people, things like that. The next level down is a BLS ambulance, which typically has 2 EMTs on. This is for a lesser serious patient. Maybe somebody has fallen. They have an injury to their knee. That hurts a lot, can't bear weight, can't walk, don't necessarily need all the services of a paramedic, but you need some help. So we may send a BLS ambulance. There is difference in the rates. Our base rate for BLS, the lesser, is $1,300, and our rate for ALS is $1,800. So it's a $500 difference. And yeah, I saw a lot of people go, whoa, what's that all about? Well, it's all about the things that we're required to do and the things that we're required to have. Does anybody ever pre-plan their emergency trip to the hospital? Nope, doesn't happen. So we need to be prepared 24 hours a day. We need trucks to do that. We need people to staff that. This is not a volunteer occupation anymore. Everyone in EMS is paid. The only ones that are volunteering are students, and really students, people that are learning to get into the business. Those are the ones that are volunteering. Rarely you'll find somebody that just wants to do it as kind of a hobby, to go out and help out. They want to help. But this is a paid service. These are professionals coming out to help you. The equipment that goes onto the truck is just going up in price. The price of the truck is just going up. The price to pay these people to do this task, do this job, is going up every And we have to be prepared 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to handle any emergency. That means the worst case scenario is a cardiac arrest. Someone stopped breathing, they have no, the heart's not beating and they're not breathing. So we have to be prepared for everything that goes along with that. If we go out and help somebody who is just having trouble breathing, I know that sounds serious, but it doesn't take all of the supplies of the ambulance. But we still have to be prepared for worst case scenario every time we roll out the door. And let's be honest, remember I talked about that contractual allowance? We send a $1,900 bill and they send us $700. That's how we have to operate all the time. And then we also have, not telling you anything that you probably haven't imagined, we have a population who doesn't pay their bills at all. So insurances and other folks are helping to offset that fee as well. Okay? Sorry, that's just the way that it's working out right now.
Does Pottstown Hospital take all the stroke victims?
They are an accredited stroke center.
They
yes.
are?
Yes.
Okay, with all the changes at Tower Health, I didn't know if
Yes.
they got rid of that.
Yes, and I guess maybe that wouldn't be a bad topic for your next meeting. And I'll help you with this, John, if you want. Have somebody from Tower Health come out here and talk to you and explain, I don't know if that would help you or not, the services that they do provide. They've been getting a lot of bad press lately. They are a stroke center, so a stroke will go there. If we suspect somebody from here is having a stroke, we would want to take them to Pottstown Hospital. Okay? Time is brain. And the more time that we spend driving to a further hospital, the more brain you're going to lose, or our patient is going to lose. Yes, you've seen the stories where they closed their cancer center. Not necessarily an emergent situation, but kind of devastating to the area because it was the only one right here in Pottstown. A lot of people in Pottstown don't have transportation. They struggle with just basic transportation to get there. So it was convenient, or the buses were taking them. Now they got to find a further away place. The bigger thing that we're hearing a lot about is the closure of the ICU. And I clearly don't want to speak on this, but it really hasn't affected the capabilities of the hospital. So if somebody needs a unit bed or needs to be monitored in the intensive care unit, we can go to Pottstown. They will provide stabilizing care, and then they can get you to a different facility. That may be a Reading, it may be a Lehigh, it may be a Paoli, it may be the city, one of the 20 hospitals down in Philadelphia. It can be anywhere from there. There really was a small amount of people that were going to the unit anyway. Okay? It really hasn't affected the hospital that much at all, with the exception of the perception that it gives that, well, they don't have an intensive care unit, maybe I shouldn't go there. In all honesty, it's not highly likely that you were going to go to the unit anyway.
Could you hold the mic closer to your...
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. It's not highly likely that you were going to go to the ICU anyway. Yes, there are cases that you do land there, but it doesn't happen that often. Okay? What else? They closed the maternity services. That was done about 2 years ago. That's kind of a problem for us because now all these people that are having babies, we got to drive to Phoenixville and Einstein and Reading, and that's kind of problematic for us because we hate giving birth on the side of 724. That's not fun. That's not fun. So, any other questions?
Does the rate that gets charged before I pick, you said that your basic rate for a call
Mm-hmm.
was $1,600 or something.
Okay.
All right, let's use that as a base rate and
Sure.
say they come out, they do take you to the hospital, and it's $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that would make that rate increase dramatically if all they do is come and pick you up and take you to the emergency room?
So by Medicare guidelines, we are only allowed to charge for two things. We can pick what those two are. There's many things that we can pick from. General practice, best practice is to bill for a base rate. We don't charge if we use the monitor. We don't charge if we intubate. We don't charge if we give meds. We don't charge if we give oxygen. Okay? We charge one flat fee. That's Medicare's laws. That's on the CMS website. The other thing that makes it more appealing for us, the next fee, is mileage. So we would charge a base rate. No matter what pieces of the ambulance you use, we're still charging that $1,600. Then we're charging $22 a mile on top of that. We can't itemize a bill. We're not allowed to. And that's in the CMS Center for Medicare Services.
What would make a bill, just using your 1,600 as a base rate, what would make a bill go from 1,600 to 4,300?
That I cannot answer. That would not be a goodwill practice, and that would be something if you'd have to direct that question to whoever is sending you that bill. Yeah, I don't have that one. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name's Gary Rader. I live on Dogwood Drive. My wife just had a problem here a few weeks ago where she fell, tripped over the curb, and fell onto the concrete. I didn't know that I was with her, but I was... hear you. I'm sorry. There's a factor that we're not addressing here. Who determines who calls 911?
Anybody in this room is allowed to call 911.
I'm her husband.
Okay.
I didn't even have a minute to go over there and see how badly she was hurt or whatever. And someone yelled, "Call 911."
Okay.
And a car going by heard that, called 911. And before I knew what was going on, in comes the ambulance.
Yep.
In comes the ambulance.
Anybody in this room is allowed to call 911 any time of the day that they like, for whatever reason.
Well, that seems like a pretty... That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Pretty good waste of money, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. So what I can tell you about our squad, Goodwill, only a third of the time that we go out. So remember I said we average about 9,500 calls a year? We only transport about 6,000 times. A third of the time that we go out, we do not move a patient. And that could be that scenario. So somebody's driving by, let's imagine another one. There's an auto accident right out front. You're sitting in your room and you can see that. You call 911 and report, oh, there's an accident right in front of Frederick Living. I think somebody should send an ambulance to check on those people. That just got an ambulance dispatched and probably 2 fire companies. So anybody can call 911. Just because we're there does not mean that somebody has to go to the hospital. We can turn around and go back just as easily as we came.
Well, in our situation, someone driving down the road saw her laying there on the sidewalk, made the call, and I'm standing there not knowing what happened. The next thing you know, in comes the ambulance, and they took her away. Then I had to go down to my house, get in my own car, and follow them to the hospital, which was 5 miles away or thereabouts. And I'm just saying, when we got the bill for $4,300, I mean, that's quite a shock to the system.
I understand it, I get it, and again, I would urge you to speak to the people that sent you that bill, speak to Tammy, and try and see if you can get some help with that. Also, make sure that you read that bill and see if they're looking for something else. Maybe they need a signature. Maybe they need insurance information. I don't know. I don't know about that. And I can't explain someone else's fee schedule, and I'm not going to even attempt to try.
That's a big change.
Big difference.
1,600.
Huge difference. Yeah. And honestly, a lot of companies, we have not been one of them. Some companies will inflate their charges because they know that contractual allowance is going to be a problem for them.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tammy. I'm the social worker in the Wellness Suite. I have a lot of jobs. One of them is helping with the appeals process for ambulance. So if you receive a bill, do not pay it. If it tells you to pay it, do not pay it. Bring it to me. I will go through an appeals process. What I do is Plymouth Ambulance is the one that we mostly have here. They're the ones that you're going to be able to get a membership with because they're the ones that service this area the most. Their membership covers any of your co-pays that Medicare doesn't pay for, just like you guys were saying. If you get a bill from an ambulance, don't pay it, bring it to me. I will help you out with it. I spent a copious amount of time on the phone with Plymouth Ambulance going over their process, going over how to make an appeal. They sent me the Medicare guidelines for the appeal, so now I kind of know them pretty well. If we send in an appeal and we lose the appeal, we can talk to the ambulance company about lowering the bill to $500. And that is what we can do about that. But I do have to do the appeals process first. There's a lot that goes into that process. I can do a separate, talk about that. I don't want to take up your guys' time here. If you want me to do that, I certainly can. If you want me to do it on an individual basis, I'll take you down the basement. If you want me to do that on an individual basis, please give me a call. I'm at 1178, or you can just call the switchboard here and they will put you through to me. And I am more than happy to go through that with you because I just learned it all and now I know it.
What is your name again?
My name is Tammy Zumstein.
Tammy what?
Zumstein. Stonstein, if you're German. It's me, Tammy Z. That's how I get people to remember it. Appeals are something that I do. I help work with that. I also will help you if you have an insurance appeal that you need to go through. So recently we had a resident who brought a bill to me that just didn't look right. So we're looking into the billing process from the physician office to make sure that everything was billed appropriately. And after that, we're going to be filing an appeal if we need to after a rebill. So there might be an issue like that too. So I can help out with that as well. Do you have any questions about ambulance appeals before I start getting into what it is that I do here besides that?
One quickie. Kevin, if I understood correctly, who makes the decision of the type of ambulance? And what guidance can you give the residents when they make that 911 call to tell the 911 operator what the situation is to make sure to get the correct unit coming?
Sure. The question had to do with who makes the determination as to which one of those two ambulances coming. That's made by the 911 center. So when you call 911, it typically goes down to Eagleville, and there's a bunch of people in a really secure building down there. You'll talk to one of them and basically give them a description of your problem and your location. So if we find out that somebody's having chest pain, we know that that's going to require additional care and additional interventions, so that ALS ambulance will be sent. If you tell the 911 call taker that someone fell and needs assistance getting up and they injured their ankle, that's certainly a lesser acuity patient, not as severe, and we could likely send a BLS ambulance for that. And we can keep our paramedics available for the strokes, the heart attacks, the trouble breathing, the allergic reactions and things like that. That make sense? Okay. Yeah, we try to send the right ambulance, but when you call 911, they're going to ask you a lot of questions to try to narrow down what's going on, which ambulance to send, and then to try to figure out exactly where you're at. Okay? Like, I know just me coming here, I haven't been here in this building in, oh my God, 10 years. And for me to get dispatched to Frederick Living, that would be a nightmare for me with all of the buildings and communities that are around here. So when they start to ask you those questions, please just bear with them. And especially somebody who was outside. You weren't, hopefully you were close to an address that you could give a number to. Or that passerby calls 911 and says, oh, somebody fell in the parking lot of Frederick Living. Oh my God. Where are we going to go? Which parking lot? So, yeah, they're just asking those questions to try and get help to you as quickly as possible. Okay, I'm going to go sit down and let Tammy talk. Again, the questions and things that you need specific, go to the people who sent you the bills, okay? And when you do get a bill, certainly read it, and if you don't understand it, ask Tammy to help you out with that. All right? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Kevin. I got to make a correction because I've been saying that they had 3 types of, Kevin just told me that probably 10 years ago, but when I was there, they had the transport and the 2 other ambulances. They no longer have transport. They got rid of them. So there's only 2 ambulances now at Goodwill instead of 3.
Hi, everyone. So basically what I do in the Wellness Suite as your social worker is that I can help with nothing, apparently. Now it's all gone. Assessment and service planning. So if you have a problem, you can bring it to me. I can go over everything with you. And then we can plan out our next steps. I'm kind of here as like a sounding board for any issues that you might have that you need help with getting a solution to. It could be anything. Legal, anything legal, I will help you out with. I will also help coordinate any resources for you that you might need. So for example, if, Cindy can help with this too, if you need medical help, and Lori can help with this too. If you need medical help, you need a podiatrist, you need an eye doctor, you need this, that, and the third, I can put some resources together for you, or you can come sign up to do all those things with our providers that come here. If you're interested in talk therapy or psychiatry services, I can help get that started for you. So I kind of help you connect with different resources medically that are available to you. But along the way, I've also been creating a resource guide as I've started to work here. I've never worked in Montgomery County before, so I kind of had to start from scratch. But if there is something that you need help with, if you're having an estate sale, if you're having, if you need a lawyer, if you need, things like that, that you guys, might seem to need as time goes on, I can help you coordinate those services, get you some resources, help you come up with a list of questions to ask, things along those lines. Do I always get things put together, the next day? No, but I am gonna start working on it for you. Sometimes I do get things done really, really quickly, and sometimes I get things done quickly and we have to wait on the other person, the other party to, scooch ahead. But that's also my job, is to advocate for that scooch ahead. So if you guys need something, you've reached out to someone, hey Tam, they're not getting back to me, can you give them a call and shake them up a little bit? I'm your girl, no problem, will do. It's my favorite thing to do. I like shaking people up. If I wasn't a social worker, I would have been a lawyer, I think. Also, some people have come to me with concern that they would like some support groups here, or that they would like to join support groups. Last Thursday, I was supposed to meet with a pastor who was going to provide services to us for a bereavement and grief support group. He calls it Good Grief. And he was bogged down by work because of the snow, so he rescheduled it to this Thursday. So we're making some traction on the bereavement support group for all of those who are interested. Hopefully we'll be able to start that shortly. I also have, like I said, a resource guide, so if you're just generally interested in any of the resources available, I can provide you with that guide. Or if you need something specific, I'm very happy to do that for you. I also like to check in if you are in rehab at Cedarwood, if you're in rehab, or if you're taking a respite stay over at Magnolia. I like to try to work and make sure that your transition back to independent living goes smoothly. So if you need medical equipment ordered, if you need services planned, if you need help with anything like that, I'm here to help with that. Lori's also here to help with that. She can do that too. It's a case management situation. If you need help with coordinating with a new pharmacy, stuff like that.
I just kind of, you know, you throw it at me and I see if it sticks on the wall. That's what we do. It's kind of what all social workers do that are worth their salt anyway, hopefully. Do you guys have any questions about my role here or anything that you guys think that we could use here that I can help with? And if you don't want to answer that on the spot, you can certainly reach out to me. My phone number is extension 1178. Or you can call the front desk and ask for Tammy Z. Is there anything else I can help you guys out with today? Well, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Now we get to the mundane stuff. We need approval of minutes from November the 18th of last year. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes? Have a motion? Second? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried. All right. Lindy. Oh, she?
Yeah.
The audit committee, right?
Yes.
Stay there, Lindy, we'll get you.
The audit. Oh. Yeah, and the audit is complete. We found everything. Not up to my, is this it? No. Okay, well, the audit's complete. I can talk loud. And we found everything to be in order. And I want to commend Leroy. He does a great job with the books. He's very efficient and everything is neat and organized. Makes the audit easy. And speaking of that, I am resigning. This is my last one. I've done it 4 years. And so he makes it easy. He's going to need someone. Somebody needs to step up. And it's not a bad job. It's quick and easy, okay?
Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you, Leroy. And I have the letter.
Okay. All right, so the geranium sale this year, Lindy and Connie, I guess, are going to do it again this year for the geranium.
Yeah, snow on the ground or not, it's geranium time. You will be, it is. Yeah, you will be getting the order forms probably in another week or two. You will have, a month to fill them out. I'm not going to answer them back the next day, but they will be coming out. I'm just waiting for the price list from him, which he said we would have this week. So we will get those letters out as soon as possible, and you'll know what it's going to cost. Okay? All righty. So that's your glimmer of hope with all the snow coming.
The next thing on my list is the Valentine special menu. Can't hear you. All right, so the next thing is the Valentine special menu, and that's on the 6th, and they're taking reservations for it now. And my understanding is they're only accepting 30 people, so if you're going to make your reservation, make it now. 13th? All right. I thought I read 6th. But anyway. The next thing I have is your heating issues. They should all be brought to Michael. or to one of the staff, maintenance or somewhere. There's multiple units that I understand that are using heaters that are plugged in and that they're not using their own heaters. And I heard of one case supposedly that had frozen pipes. So keep them informed as to what's going on within your units so that they can do it. Some of them have been in different units for a day, almost a full day, and then some come back the next day. So keep them informed as to what's going on. And on these real cold days, run a little bit of the water through your pipes so that they don't freeze. All right, the next thing I have is the hairdresser, that tips are now allowed and encouraged. Yeah, just for the hairdresser. That's the only thing you can give a tip to. Hairdressers only. And the last thing I have is the FLRA Executive Committee passed a motion to require maintenance to leave a note every time they enter a resident's home explaining the time and reason for their visit. So that now we know why they're there, rather than just seeing stuff out of place. And that's all I have for the president's reports. So now we'll give it over to the treasurer.
If that doesn't happen, let us know. That's why John and the officers went to Michael to try to get that through. So if you have a case where they don't tell you, let one of the officers know and we'll go back to try to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to. Because it's up to the individual maintenance technician who services your unit to leave that note.
They're subcontractors.
What's that?
They're not in-house, they're subcontractors.
That becomes a problem with J&K and so forth, and if that's the problem, we'll try to work that out as well, because it is maintenance's responsibility to do that. And I don't know about you, but when I signed up to come here, I believe I authorized them to come in even if I'm not there. But my understanding was that they were gonna have a Frederick person there supervising. I know that's not happening with JK now. Now, their people seem to be fine. It's an issue. Good point.
Before I give you the numbers, what I want to do is thank everybody for donating to the staff appreciation. We made our goal this year. We raised the $58,905, and that we gave to 231 employees at a total of $255 per employee. I was told that no taxes were taken out of that money, that Frederick Living paid the taxes on those dollars. So that means that you and I paid the taxes. The balance in the general fund is $5,078.95. In the appreciation fund, we still have $8,752. In the train club, we have $4,810.25. In the Swan Club, we have $481.68. In the Garden Club, we have $937.15, for a total of $20,060.02. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, we have the dining committee.
1, 2.
Okay, is that any better? Okay. We had a meeting, and I'm going to just go over very briefly several things that we talked about and that are being taken care of. One of the things is reusable containers. They're trying to put the order in for these containers, and they'll create a flyer for the residents, and we'll post the information on the app. And I'll see if they could get it posted somewhere else too. You don't go on the app. I guess you heard the new menu starts February 8th, and it's going to be a cycle of 5 weeks. Unfortunately, none of us know what's on the menu. They want to surprise us, so keep your fingers crossed. Okay, another thing that we heard about was the residents that order from the menu to be delivered to their house. They get very confused. They have Italian vegetables, they have all these other vegetables that are combinations, and unless you go and see it, you don't know what's in it. So they're looking into that to let us know what each one of these varieties contains. Again, with the whole chickens, they're available only on Wednesdays, and to receive a chicken, they want you to call them so you don't come down and there's no chickens left. There again, it's extension 1272 to call and let them know you'd like one. The dining committee list is going to be posted at the mailboxes so that you know who's on the dining committee, and who, if you have a question or a problem, you can contact one of us there. Snow day plans. If a lot of the staff aren't able to make it to work, the hamburgers and hot dogs will be wrapped and available as a go-to-go. We didn't run into that problem this year because luckily everybody stayed. Valentine's menu, of course, is on the app, and it should be also posted somewhere if you don't have a chance to use the app. Regarding the ice machine, that's not working, and it has been several weeks. Lou is trying to get someone here to repair it. Evidently they came, repaired it, and then it didn't work. So far the company has not been back. So he's still trying to work on that for us. Now the big thing is the Super Bowl event. There will not be a Super Bowl event in the auditorium this year. I think when I talked to Emily, the main reason they did it last year was because the Eagles were in it. So unfortunately, that won't be happening, but I think the Bistro's doing something. I haven't heard exactly what they're doing, but probably for the meals or something like that, they'll have that type of food. So, and that's all I have to say. Any questions on dining committee? Okay.
I get the fun part. I get to introduce the newest newcomers to Frederick. So, and to the newcomers, I see you around. I'm going to ask you to stand because the last time someone said to me, I can't see them. So when I call your name, I'm going to ask you to stand, just sort of wave to the people. But the good news is you don't have to talk. And the other good news, when this meeting is all over, see me, I have something for you. So we'll start over here with Bob Geisinger. Bob lives in Oak Tree. Okay, welcome. And then we'll go to Joan Carroll. And Joan lives in Oak Tree. And then, oh, yes, over here, Bev and John Greason. They live on Dogwood in the Meadows. And that's it. And make sure that you do give them a smile, a little wave when you see them, okay?
brief. The book club meets on the second Friday of every month. It's on the calendar. We meet in the art room. If you're interested, just show up. Should I do my other ones while I'm up here?
Yep.
Okay. The charity crafters, I did put an article in the connections, which you should be getting soon. We have two separate groups. The second Wednesday, we do some sort of craft. We just completed 150 Valentines we made. They went to the multi-service unit in Boyertown, and also every resident in Aspen and Cedarwood. Cedarwood will receive a Valentine, a special Valentine. And we're going to do one the second next Wednesday. And we'll be working on things to make for the sale. Hopefully we'll sell some of them and we can donate the money to the benevolent fund. And I think just from September to December, we donated over $400 to the benevolent fund with our crafts that we made and what we sold. So everyone is welcome to join us on the fourth Wednesday. There are squares of fabric that need to be colored in, which then will be sewn into quilts for children. So there's kind of two different activities, one on the second, one on the fourth. Everyone is welcome to come. It's not rocket science. They're very simple, and there's something for everybody. The trip committee, we just met, and we just got papers from Dan today. We have planned 13 activities, and that only took us till, I think we're up to June, what he gave us. So we have lots of fun things to plan. We are going on the 15th to Boyertown High School. And I understand a lot of people are not signing up. They say, well, I don't know anything about that show. Well, that's true. I don't think anybody really does. It's kind of an obscure musical, but I understand it's very, very funny. And there's lots of good dancing and singing in it. And these are our kids in Boyertown that we need to support. The bus will drive you to the door. You get off the bus, walk right into the auditorium, and on the way home, the bus will be there waiting to take us back. And we have a lift. If you're not sure about getting on and off the bus, the lift can help with that. So please sign up. The deadline for tickets is Friday the 6th, that we need to buy those tickets. And we have made special arrangements to get special seats. So please think about it. It's going to be a different kind of musical, but I think it's going to be very enjoyable. And you know, Boyertown never disappoints us. And then on the 24th, we're going to Garden Spot. Those of us who have been there know what's fun to walk around and see what's going on. There's places to shop, places to have lunch, and also some people here have friends. It's a great way to go visit your friends. The bus will take you down, and then you can visit your friends, and then just meet us up when we're leaving. So you can do what you choose on that particular trip. And on March 4th, we're going to Anna Maria's in Birdsboro. I understand it's a very, very nice restaurant, very highly recommended. And it'll be just a lunch trip, so it won't take you all day. And then on the 24th of March, I should say I speak for Sharon Kiekler and Dottie Goffer and myself. Dottie put together a really exciting trip. We're going to have a chalk artist do a talk for us on spring and birds. And there's a beautiful gift shop. We're going to allow a little time to shop. And then we're going to an authentic Amish home for an authentic Amish dinner, really. It's a chicken dinner. It's not just sandwiches, it's an actual dinner. So that should be very, very exciting. Yeah.
It's on the 31st.
Oh, I'm sorry, it is on the 31st. I have the wrong day. We had to change the date. So it'll be on the 31st. There's a change there. I'm sorry. But anyway, so please come and join us, even if you don't know anyone to go on the trip with. We all stay together and we have fun together. And those who are new, please come and join us. We always have a good time. The sign up is in Freddie's. There's a book there that you can sign up. And Dan has done some fabulous work in writing up details about the trip. So they will be posted on the bulletin board. So when it's in the book, if you look up, you will probably find more description of what we're going to do. Okay, I'm
I
done.
have a question.
Yes.
The quilts that they do, I've done the tracing and stuff for the pictures. I've never seen a quilt. I want to know if there's some way that we can see a finished quilt and put it somewhere where everybody can see what we do. Because
Barb,
you
can
work on it and you don't know what happened at the end.
Barb, can you ask Joyce if she could do that? Because it's Joyce who comes and brings the squares, so. Yeah, and so maybe she can, okay, well, that's a good thing to say, because then you'll see, I actually saw one finished, they're really pretty when they're done, so, good idea. Okay, we'll work on that. Oh, and one more thing, someone asked me this just the other day. They said, I really love coming to hymn sing, but I don't sing anymore. And I said, well, you don't have to sing to come to hymn sing. You can just come and listen to the music. And she was very surprised when I said that. And I said, no, you can just hum along or just listen to the music. So please remember that. And also, choir starts on June 11th, and we have a big surprise for what we're planning. I know, my daughter knows.
What month? You said June.
February?
No, it's
A
February.
big, what is it?
Choir.
February 11th.
I'm sorry.
February 11th.
You're really rushing it.
Back here.
First of all, I'd like to welcome the new residents. And I wanted to let you know that we do have a pet committee available if you have a cat or dog or birds or whatever. You have an emergency situation, you need help with your pet, give me a call. My name is Dottie Cox. I'm on the app. Please don't hesitate. Even if I'm not here, I can make arrangements to have someone else come out and help you with your animal in that time of need.
Dan's
Hi, I'm Susie Almendinger, and I'm helping Jean Shell right now with the Swan Committee since she can't do it. And we, with some of the other people who help, I had talked with, and we need some subs to not do it every week, just if we can have somebody, say one of us gets sick or two of us get sick, we're in a problem. And especially with Jean being out, and it'll be a while yet till she is able to do her job. I do have two people that signed up to be a sub, and that doesn't mean you're going to be working every week or something. I'm going to try to get two more, that we have 4 people that can sub when one of us either are sick or we can't do it. So if you can give me a call, or if you see me in the restaurant, come and talk to me. We have 2 people that are willing to do it, but Jeannie's going to be going away for a while to Florida, lucky her, to the sun. But I mean, I'm always willing to fill in too, but we have, each one of us have a certain day that we do. So it would only be to be a sub right now. And I want to give this to Jean so we can make up a list and give it to all the people who are already doing it on a weekly basis. Okay? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'll be brief. The Railroad Club is meeting every Monday at 10 a.m. downstairs in Oak Tree Basement. If you want to join the club, please do. We can use some helping hands down there. As far as miniature golf, assuming that the course doesn't have any snow on it, we'll start the first Wednesday in May at 9 a.m. and play miniature golf. And on the second and fourth Saturday at 6:30, we show movies in the auditorium here. Hope to see everybody there. Thank you very much.
I have Bruce's report on the Vegetable Garden Committee. He says, as we near the start of the new growing season, plans are in the works for signups. The first sign-up will be at the Spring Open House and Micro Communities Fair and Crafts right here in the auditorium on March 21st from 10 to 1. After that, you can call Dan App at extension 1278, and he's looking forward to a new season of growing vegetables.
Shovel out first.
All right, so the next quarterly meeting is May the 10th at 1:30, or 19th, I'm sorry, I can't even see. And then August the 18th at 1:30 and November 17th at 1:30. So those are our next 3 dates as far as the quarterly meeting is concerned. And after all that, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor? Those opposed? Oh, Cheryl, do you have something?
I'm not opposed. I just want to remind everybody to sign the posters, don't forget.
Yeah, sign the posters on both sides, please. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.